If I could walk, I would come and kick your ass. Look, I talk to everybody, any age, you know.
Because I want you to show me your blank.
What?
I want to see your blank because I like Latina or black girls.
Andy, I'm not showing you my blank. That's gross.
Send me pictures of you, blank. I want to blank off.
Andy, I'm not doing any of that.
If I can find you, I will choke you out.
What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Channing, and today we're making an updated video on TikTok's most disgusting predator, also known as Big Andy. You see, a few months ago, I ended up making my first video on Andy, exposing him for a plethora of different atrocities. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I would definitely recommend watching that before you watch this video, just so things make a little bit more sense. But without further ado, let's catch ourselves up to speed with what Andy's been up to these past couple of months. You see, Big Andy has been on quite the downward spiral because he's only gotten worse. The other day, I was informed of a bunch of new information exposing Big Andy, and to my knowledge, Andy has been infiltrating entire high schools and middle schools. But let me explain how this happens. You see, for some reason, in multiple schools across the US, Andy is seen as a niche meme. So basically, kids will mess with him for entertainment because they know he's a weirdo that will do and say the craziest things. So they'll add him on Snapchat and Instagram, even joining his Discord just to troll him. And as you can see here, one of the people who reached out to me shared their story about dealing with Big Andy over the past 5 years. So back in 2019 to 2020, my best friend came up to me on FaceTime with Big Andy. I'd say we were around 12 at the time. You could look at us and the way we acted and see we were 12. Andy would say weird things about me, and eventually we made Andy one big joke. Me and my best friend would go live with him. This is when Andy was pretty big on TikTok. We ended up ghosting him and losing his account for a while. We randomly started remembering him around January 2025. We looked for him but couldn't find him, so we honestly assumed he was dead. A couple of days later, he showed up on FYP, so we decided to go in his live. There were multiple girls who you could tell were underage by their voices alone. We went live with him and it was very creepy. After that, he found my Instagram and followed me and proceeded to somehow get my number. On Instagram, he would constantly call me, text me, voice messages, etc., and asked me to date him and asked me to dance for him. He'd ask weird things like me and to have in front of him and other weird things. He says things like he's gonna eat our and get us. After Andy knew I was 17, he called me and said, "I still want you to suck my dick." The other day I was in his live. It was me and 4 other boys. These boys started saying things like they want to me and have a with me, and I was clearly uncomfortable and told them to stop multiple times. Andy laughed and was telling them other things that they should do to me. Overall, I am completely disgusted by this man, and I truly hope he gets thrown in prison. Right now, he's telling he only has 2 years left to live and keeps apologizing to all of us. In my opinion, I think he's trying to guilt trip us into not exposing him and feeding into his pedophilia again. So after reading this first-hand account of a minor dealing with Big Andy, this is concerning because children are willingly putting themselves in a position to talk with Andy, who is a proven predator. Big Andy is the one with a target on his back because he's facilitating these relationships as well. And obviously all of these minors are just messing with him, but the fact that Big Andy is still out here trying to dirty talk to kids is absurd. And let me just say, some of these videos and screenshots that we're about to unpack today send shivers down my spine. Now, before we take a look at all of Andy's weird internet activity as of late, I do want to mention that the drama from this story has seeped into Andy's family, because Big Andy's sister, whose name is Nicole, ended up seeing my first video. And what's surprising was how Andy's sister defended him despite the fact that we exposed him for his graphic conversations with minors. And Big Andy's sister didn't stop there, because not too long after that, I was informed of a cease and desist request in my YouTube comments, of all places, from Nicole as well. So as you can tell, I've been quite the nuisance to the Big Andy family, and for good reason. Now, with all of that being said, let's take a look at Exhibit 1, where Big Andy is referring to the first video that I made. As you can see, Big Andy is confusing the minors that he's talking to for me me, the guy who made the first video. The minor in the screenshot says, "Nobody made a video, bro. Your TikTok lives are public. You effed up by saying that stuff, Andy, not us." Followed up by more messages saying, "Get help, Andy. Instead of thirsting over teenage girls, please ask your sister to get you help, because it's nasty, Andy." Now, the problem with this is the fact that Andy is 48 years old, and he knows he's not supposed to talk to minors, but he chooses to anyway. And it's important to mention that Andy is disabled, so he rarely leaves his bed, leaving himself having to wear diapers if he needs to go to the bathroom. And with all of that time on Andy's hands, he spends most of it on TikTok, Instagram, Roblox, and basically anywhere that there's a guaranteed population of children. And it's not like Andy tries to hide this either, because basically every day he's either on TikTok Live or hosting Discord calls with kids. Now, obviously this is concerning by itself, but what makes it even worse is knowing that Andy is usually damn near naked, as you can see here. Now, the reason why we know this is because in my first video, Andy exposed himself for wearing diapers, even explaining that if he goes to the bathroom while sleeping, he'll just clean it up tomorrow.
Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I just have a diaper on. What the big deal?
So basically what Andy does is sit in his diaper all day long and talk to kids. And apparently this next video is showing Andy allegedly gooning on live. Now obviously there's no way to tell if this dude is actually choking the chicken, and thank the heavens above, but I just wanted to at least show y'all what I meant when I said Andy has gotten worse. Now in this next video, Andy seemed to be either on live or in a Discord call with minors, when Big Andy says he wanted to grab one of the girls' heads and smash it just because she decided to play Fortnite with her boy best friend.
It made me mad. I want to go hoo hoo, doo 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 doo, and then I want to grab her head.
Andy. Andy.
Smash it.
And surprisingly enough, not too long after this leaked Discord call, Andy also put the name of one of the 17-year-old girls that he's been talking to in his Instagram and TikTok bio, even saying they were dating, as you can see here. Now what's crazy is in my first video we covered a little bit that Andy likes to do, where he references himself in a neighborhood ringing people's doorbells, followed by him barking like a dog after mentioning people running from him. It's truly pretty creepy, but since the last time we talked about this bit, Andy has started including the names of minors in these videos, which is on a new level of concerning, to say the least.
Hey, there one man had going to your local neighborhood going ding dong, ding dong. Oh, don't get me. Oh, don't get me. You know what happened? Oh, and all running. Guess what? And guess what? It's running with them, and he trying to get away too. Then she running behind.
Yeah, so obviously it's really hard to tell what Andy is saying, because his way of speech is like a mumbling motorboat. But it's also highly concerning seeing him post these public videos to TikTok while he's fantasizing about chasing children in a neighborhood. Now, in the next video, Andy is sending voice memos back and forth to another minor whose age is 16, asking if she moans and can have phone with him.
So do you moan or what? Okay, do you send pictures or do you moan? Like, do you have with guys? So you wouldn't do it for me?
Yeah, so at this point, it's blatantly clear to me that Andy has no complex in his brain to even begin hiding the fact that he's a pedophile. And what if I told y'all that this actually runs in the family? You see, Big Andy has a brother named Randy, who in 2007 was found guilty of aggravated battery. According to court documents, on the morning of March 17th, 2003, a woman was jogging down the street when she was approached by Randy. Randy then went behind the woman, reached in between her legs, and assaulted her, for lack of better words, or what YouTube will allow me to say. Now, I personally read this whole entire document myself, and I definitely cannot talk about the more descriptive parts about this case, but it was incredibly disgusting. Ultimately, after this happened, Randy fled to his car, parked parked a few feet away, while the victim got Randy's license plate. Ultimately, the victim called the police and Randy was arrested for his crimes later on. So yeah, it's abundantly clear to me that the Coleman family needs to be on some sort of watch list, especially after knowing both Andy and Randy have these similar problems. Now, what you guys are about to watch next are a bunch of different voice memos and videos of Big Andy being a complete creep to minors.
Are you single?
I want to F you.
I still love her, and you know that. She my ex. Why? Well, one day, she told me that you were trying to get with her. If I could walk, I would come and kick your ass. I just want to talk to her sometime. Like once a day, 10, 15 minutes a day. That's all I want it. Look, I talk to everybody, any age, you know. Anybody come to my life, I talk to them.
Because I want you to show me your blank.
What?
I want to see your blank because I like Latina or black girls.
Andy, I'm not showing you my blank. That's gross.
Send me pictures of you, blank. I want a blank off.
Andy, I'm not doing any of that.
If I can find you, I will choke you out.
Yeah, so at this point in the Big Andy timeline, it's clear as day to us that Andy has only gotten worse since the last time we've talked about him. And at this point, there's no way anyone can defend this guy. It's just insane to me how Andy's videos or live streams don't get banned on TikTok or any of the other platforms that Andy spends his time on. And I do want to make it a point that as funny as it may be messing with Big Andy from time to time, I genuinely do not endorse anybody talking to this guy. And what's crazy is, as all of this information in this video was coming out, Andy took it upon himself to start telling the minors that he's in contact with that he's been starting cancer.
I'm starting the cancer today.
Now, in my opinion, this is just a way of Andy deflecting blame while trying to make himself a victim. But could this also be true? Yes, at the end of the day, Big Andy's physical health is slowly dwindling, and we know that as a fact from the first video. Even though we don't really know what's wrong with him, we do know he's not able to get up out of that darn chair, so only time will tell. But I do think Andy is an extremely dangerous individual, and I'm thankful that he can't really get up and walk in the first place. I know that sounds morbid, but God forbid this man could use his legs to further his fantasies, which would be absolutely frightening. But as of right now, Andy's just a couch turd that messages kids all day long, and I don't really think that's gonna change anytime soon. Obviously, I don't hate Andy, and I don't wish anything bad on him, but I do absolutely hate the things he does, and that's a big reason as to why I continue to make these videos, to show you guys how much of a creep Big Andy and people like him truly are. He's not this funny internet meme, and he surely shouldn't be talking to any kids, and it's just wild to me how Andy has recently found himself infiltrating an entire school of kids, where his name became somewhat of a household name. With all that being said, I think it's important that no one continues to entertain this guy, whether you think it's a joke or not. But right here is where I'm going to end this video. As always, if you guys want me to cover someone, drop a comment below or email me at the email in my description. Make sure to leave a like on this video and a dislike if you didn't. As always, thank you guys so much for your support, and thank you for also making me a part of your day. And God bless.